Science News. Exercise-induced euphoria and anxiolysis do not depend on endogenous opioids in humans.
A new study demonstrates that under realistic environmental conditions, oil drifting in the ocean after the DWH oil spill photooxidized into persistent compounds within hours to days, instead over long periods of time as was thought.
Study. The combination of climate change and urban development is likely to fuel urban flooding in cities across the United States. The cities of Atlanta, Denver, Phoenix and Houston are especially vulnerable to extreme precipitation and urban flooding.
Scarless wound healing. Scientists develop a wound dressing based on a platform with pulsatile release of a growth factor inhibitor that effectively suppressed scar formation in murine skin wounds and large animal preclinical models, which can be potentially be used for massive burn wounds. A recent analysis of historic and projected simulations from 19 global climate models shows that, because of climate change, the temperature in the Antarctic Peninsula, a canary in the coal mine, for the rest of the continent will increase by 0.5 to 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2044. Latest research by Washington State University Health Sciences Spokane shows night shifts disrupt the natural 24-hour rhythms in the activity of certain cancer-related genes, making night shift workers more vulnerable to the disease. Researchers have chemically modified wood and made it more compressible, turning it into a mini generator. When compressed, it generates an electrical voltage. Such wood could serve as a biosensor or as a building material that harvests energy. A new study has shone light on the molecular steps behind the spread of prion diseases, a group of incurable brain conditions. The research identified the intermediate stage of prion pathogenesis and, using an antibody, prevented the conversion of protein into pathogenic prion forms.
A juvenile arthritis treatment could hold the key for some future cancer patients, including children with leukemia, to avoid the worst side effects of chemotherapy. Researchers have created a new robotic mouth system that uses machine learning and a novel mechanism modeled after human cheek muscles to better synchronize speech and mouth movements in realistic, human-like robots. Recent summer droughts in Europe are far more severe than anything in the past 2,100 years. Scientists studied more than 27,000 measurements of carbon and oxygen isotopic ratios from 147 living and dead European oak trees. Background radiation impacts human longevity and cancer mortality, reconsidering the linear no-threshold paradigm. SARS-CoV-2 jumped from bats to humans without much change. Since December 2019 and for the first 11 months of the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic, there has been very little important genetic change observed in the hundreds of thousands of sequenced virus genomes.
Scientific modeling has revealed that the oceans will stop absorbing chemicals that destroy the atmosphere's ozone layer and begin emitting them in less than 55 years, doing so in detectable amounts by 2145, and climate change will further accelerate the ocean's sink-to-source transition.
Psychedelics temporarily disrupt the functional organization of the brain, resulting in increased perceptual bandwidth, finds a new study of the neurobiological mechanisms underlying psychedelic-induced entropy.